but it definitely helps to sustain ourselves, to have one less stress. A lot of our stress is about money. Money to
Yeah.
pay rent,
Mm-hmm.
money for gas,
Yes.
money if you have some health issues, money to send your kids off to college.
But you know something? I tell you, I tell you something. You know, I've been observing over the time that that thing you call money is what you would call a very, very devious poison. In the sense that, as it is said, the love of money is the root of all evil. But with each individual that really is created or is born, once they can talk, the first thing they want is
Money.
dead man honey.
Right.
You know, and at the end of the day, you know, even though it is that way, a lot of us really don't really know how to really make the money work. Because money is just a tool to make things move in the direction that we expected or already wanted to move, you know. But a lot of us, we want it, but we don't know how to deal with it. And it's sad. And it's so simple, but it's sad, you know.
And what is even more disappointing is for our immigrant community, which is very vulnerable. And again, we may be a firm of immigrants for immigrants, but we're definitely stewards of the law. There is, the Bible says what is of Caesar,
Yes.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Definitely.
immigration law, criminal law, whatever the case may be, we do have to abide by
By
these
the
man
law.
laws.
Yes,
So we
indeed.
want to help you, but it's to guide you towards the right path, quote unquote. Right?
Yes.
Because I mean that could be debatable. There's some
Definitely.
laws that need
Very
to be
far.
changed,
Yeah.
but as far as some of the things that our community needs to do because of how the many consequences that we see. I think we've mentioned before we have a podcast called The Portees Corner where we discussed different immigrant stories of people who've been deported and now
Mm-hmm.
they're back home
Mm-hmm.
and what they wish they had known
Mm-hmm.
prior to ending there. And one of the main things that we always push again is business formation, business creation, regardless of your immigrant status, because so many immigrants work for less than minimum wage.
Amen.
It's right now it's $14 an hour. It's going to be $15 in September, but you have people working for $10 an hour, $11 an hour, working overtime,
Wow.
and they're not getting paid. And at the end of the day, the rat chase. You see that $15 an hour doesn't cut it. You see rent is 1,500, food easily for a family of two, it could be $800 a month, gas maybe $200 a week. I mean, when you add it up, I don't even know how people are surviving.
Well, you know, from my perspective, survival is the way of life, basically. And in surviving, to make it simple, my grandmother would always say, a drowning man catches a straw. So you find that whatsoever happens is that people are going to find avenues and ways to really enhance their ways of living. You
Hmm.
know, sometimes 90% of the time it might be dishonest, but who am I to tell a man how to really put his shoes on? You know what I mean? Because we can only assume the way the individual feels because we may have passed through that avenue or that direction at some point in time. But when you feel pain, as I often says, your wife doesn't feel the pain. You know, so it's how we really approach it, and the reasons behind the way we approach it. You know, because for example, we're talking about money. A lot of people cries out they want money, but they get the money, and 10 minutes after they get the money, it disappears, and there's nothing to show of substance and worth for it. Because
Yeah.
one of the misconceptions about life that they have taught us over the years is that money is riches. That's a big, outrageous, blind lie. And I tell all rich man that come, I no problem with you and your riches. And that's what my father say. Why heap up riches and moths and worms
Yes.
and sell your soul for vanity?
That's true.
That problem is your own. I don't have a problem with you on that. My father said, make the wheat and tares grow till the harvest. I am not the reaper. So, oh, go on do your thing. Your judgment is your judgment, not mine. Yeah, so, you know, it is what it is. And if we observe and move honestly and truthfully, you know, it will present itself in better condition at some point in time. Not for everybody either,
That's true.
not for everyone, because each man is paid according to his own weight on the scale and its own balance. So, it is how we really approach it, as I said. Now, when it comes to, for example, let me ask you a question. If an individual desires to buy a property, say, in Jamaica, okay, what would be the main and first focus that they should be focusing on?
Um, that the main thing is to
I would expect find the property first.
find a property, but then find if they're not able to go by themselves,
Yeah,
is to
that's,
find
that's,
an
that's the part I'm trying to get about.
is to find an I would say go with an attorney, somebody who's more credible. You have some family members that are trustworthy that you can use to buy that property for you. But if you don't really have that family member who you can trust to transact that business for you, it's to find an attorney there. We do work with other attorneys that do have different connections in Jamaica who can help people facilitate those type of transaction if they need to be.
Okay.
Awesome.
We'll take a moment, as it is International Women's Day. We can't afford to reason their whole morning out without really embracing the females and giving thanks to them and letting them know that, hey, no matter what happened, some of us, I'll say some of us, really loves them.
Yeah.
No matter some of us might be a little way off, but we're still in love with them because guess what? I have a mother, and because of my mother, even though she's no more in the land of the living, I give her praises and thanks for me to be here on this journey at this time. So, yeah, some of the gold slipping out of Babylon, queen of reggae music, Sister Marcy Griffith. Right? Shout out going out to the master Rootsman, Denton and crew, business and crew. The master on the boulevard, Captain Family and family. The master of a place called William Street, the Tiger and Associate. Peace within your goals and prosperity in your dwellings. Shout out going out to Mama Sitton and family, Papa Sitton, Mr. Monk, John Reed, Little Brother, Robin Miller, and we be a God, Priscilla, Baptized, go to the rings of the house of the day. We're all trying to step out of Babylon.
Looks like you're all set. You're going forward on the 15th. Excellent.
All right. That's it.
Stepping out of
Finish the
Babylon.
interview.
Think of all
The
the
interview at the end of the interview. Okay? So, not now.
Stepping out of Babylon one by one. Stepping out in the Zion. Stepping out of Babylon one by one. Stepping in the Zion. Stepping, stepping, stepping to Babylon, stepping out of Babylon.
No alternative.
The next, the next segment. The next segment. Just run your business. The next segment. Okay, got time. And I want you to sell it.
Yeah, and I want to talk about women in the sense of business because
Yeah.
women who are at home and women who feel themselves stuck
Okay.
need to open their business.
Yeah.
One of the main ones that I want to talk about is daycares.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Yeah,
can
run
stay
it.
at home.
This is Women's Day. Yeah. Okay. Run it.
Stepping out of Babylon one by one. Stepping in Mount Zion.
Hey,
Stepping in,
stepping,
stepping
stepping
out
out
of
of
Babylon.
Babylon,
Stepping,
stepping,
stepping
stepping
out
out
of
of
Babylon.
Babylon. Hit it with my old stepping out of Babylon.
Stepping out of Babylon.
144,000 strong. Stand firm. Right. Shout out, going out. To pass the lovelace and family peace in your walls and prosperity in your dwellings. Hey, hey. Let's enter once more with our guests as we talk about some of the business aspect of this whole thing.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. We are stepping out of Babylon and in New Jerusalem. And here's a blessing in which I would like to send out to all sisters, mothers, daughters from Zion. Know who you are, because today is definitely Women's Day. So walk in your womanhood and give thanks and praise, because this is what I have to say to you today. May the good Lord bless you to reach the purpose for which you were created. May the good Lord bless you to have courage above your peers. May the Lord bless you to have more passion for the things of God than other things it is necessary. May God bless you to dream more than other think it's practical. May God bless you to expect more than other think it's possible. May God bless you to choose wisely without earthly bias. May God bless you to have people to influence that you have not yet met. May God bless you to have lives to change that are waiting for your arrival. May God bless you and strategically place you wherever God's take you by his grand design, just so you can be everything he made you to be. May God bless you and place you in the place where you can grow best, the place where you can be most fruitful, where your future is changed because of your presence. May God bless you to see that which others doesn't know exist. May God bless you to see the very petals of every flowers and every blade of grass, for each is made out of his omnipotent love. May God bless you and your children that they become giant in the faith under the mighty and won't of God won't fail you, and made them to be here for such a time as this. Nothing lacking, nothing taken, nothing missing. God bless you, my sisters. Today is Women's Day. Walk in your womanhood and be strong and take this opportunity from my sister because she is indeed a woman of destiny and she got the word for you of blessing and how you can be all that you want to be no matter what the situation is. The word is here today. So hold on to it and get the number because they are a blessing.
Kibira blaka meskini mo teka tatula wole ay wole man ay iksi abi riksi am like abata china in a coast negas. And for those of you who are still wondering what I say when I say Kibira blaka meskini mo teka tatula wole ay wole man well, if you read the Bible, then it's the last verse of Psalms 150. Let everything that have life praise the Almighty.
Yes, indeed.
Every living thing that
Amen.
lives that have
Everything.
life, praise the Almighty.
Praise be.
As we trot on in this International Women's Day, I return the mic to you, young warrior.
Absolutely. And, the Bible and God is definitely builds us when we have fear. I feel like a lot of people are afraid of asking questions, of calling in, because when you talk about immigration, it's a shame. It's, nobody wants to know. Nobody wants to let their business as a secret. They're fearful of the consequences. And we deal with this a lot. Sometimes we wonder, is it about fear, lack of education and lack of knowledge, or is it more about avoiding the consequences? And I think it's the latter. People want to avoid the consequences, they want to avoid their problems, but we're here to tell you that you may have a way out. So please do not be afraid. Give us a call. Our phone number is 203 572 6748. 203 572 6748. You can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Again, we have a podcast called Deportees Corner. And today being Women's Day, which Women's Day is every day, as far as I'm concerned.
Hey, every day is a Monday, man. Now guess what? She has to be the blunt and the burden of the work every day.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Indeed. Yes, indeed.
And with that being said, we want to encourage women to open their own business. Do not feel that because you don't work or you work part time, or maybe you weren't able to go to school because you had children when you were young, or maybe you cannot go because you're taking care of your babies. There's so many different business ideas out there. One of the most inspiring stories that we have from one of our clients is a woman who, after suffering domestic violence, managed the courage again, not only to address her immigration issue, but also
Yep.
to open a daycare.
Good.
And now she's able to take care of her own kids at home, have money coming in, and also help other mothers who need to go to work, who need to go to school. And we can help each other in this way, as well as many other businesses out there, regardless of whether you have a green card, you're a citizen, or you are here undocumented.
Okay, we take a little step from that direction. Okay, coming up, of course, on March 11th to March 6th will be Sounds and Vision Part 2. And that will be held at 847 Chapel Street in New Haven, Connecticut. Also coming up is WPKZ Music Mash 2023 on Saturday, April 22nd. We'll have more of that as we enter into the essence before us. So guess what? As we enter, shout out, going out to the master of a place called Jamaica. The member and the crew, Miss Simone Sana, Missy Ali Malikan, Keisha Alma, Ricky Lickle, Malachi, Yanika, peace in your worlds and prosperity in your dwellings. May you a blessed and prosperous one. Because guess what? Since it's Women's International Day, this is what we are saying. Special dedication to all women created as women. So, hey, listen. Right? Voice of the Empress, it's on now. Well, all righteousness reveal. Under the Empress last verse can open the book with the seven seal. Oh, kings and queens, princes and princesses, lords and ladies. on this International Women's Day. Let's give all the love and praises to our female existence. Shake it! And Russell, bless it! Indeed, now I'm going to rise and I pray and hope that all honest, spiritual living women rise. Right? For the ashes is the ashes. Miss Rose and Fanso. And my wings up. I rise. I rise. Now, but I won't die. Reach the sky and still have. Something in the midst. Oh, I can still push the wheels, sing. It's just a little thing called faith.
That makes me feel fine.
I will reach the sky instead. Indeed, I'll rise, and because we're going to rise, I welcome once again our guest. The floor is all yours, young man.
Well, before he goes, and I do want to say happy Women's Day to all the women that have been impactful in my life. From my grandmother who passed yesterday, was 3 years since she's gone, but just knowing the impact of a woman who can get up and just go do taking care of a kid and then go do work and still come back home and still smile. Everyone that does that, you are more strong. Like the song said, I'll rise. There's this thing inside of you. Now, the eyes cannot see is faith.
Yep.
Because when my mother is a great example, she pushed through, struggled in Jamaica to push us to go to school. Always encouraging us to never stop, never give up. And as a female and as a mom, I understand now what it means to drive. Because even when you're tired, you're still going because you're thinking about your kids. You're not doing it for yourself anymore. You're doing it for your children now. It's no longer you, and I understand because you're as a woman, we put ourselves last.
Yes, indeed.
We put everybody else
Sure.
before us. As you get up, you start thinking about, oh, I have to get this for Sarah. I have to do this for this person, do this for that, and I got to go to work. But you never say when it's my time. But
Yes.
today is a day we're going to say, it's time for you to celebrate you.
Today
You
is
are
my day.
empowered.
Yes.
A lot of immigrants who will work and they feel like we're set. We had a client who was suffering domestic abuse.
Yeah.
She was empowered after that, tackled her immigration issue. But in the meantime, she didn't let it all keep her down.
Right.
She arose and started a daycare. So if you are a woman and you have a dream, whether you're an immigrant, undocumented, or documented, whatever your status is, if you have a dream, don't let somebody else's words keep you down. Like arise, just like the song said, arise because that faith in you. can push you to accomplish that dream. You never know, man. It could be a nonprofit that you wanted to open up because you want to support your family members or other children that you see in your community, whether here or abroad or wherever. It's
We can help you open a nonprofit.
Yes,
we can
indeed.
help you, but it's just to be encouraging. Just listen to the song, and it was encouraging. And for you to say when you were doing your prayer, and you said for a time like this, I remember yesterday morning as I'm reading my Bible, it was when it was in Esther,
Mm-hmm.
and
Terrific.
it was where her uncle sent a message back to her and said, "Who are you to know that if you stay, maybe your father's house will be destroyed?"
Mm-hmm.
But in the last part of the verse, he said, "Who knows if you were put here for a time as this,
Such
for
a
such a
time.
time as this?"
Yes.
Because at that point, there was a decree out to kill all
Yes,
the children
indeed.
of Israel.
Yes, indeed.
And Esther, is now, you are Israelite in the king's palace. You're the
Yes,
queen.
indeed. Mm-hmm.
You have
That's the
you
missing.
have a point to make.
Yeah, that's the
You,
missing. That's
And
the
as
missingness of the father. Of the
and
father.
as
yeah.
immigrant is here to inform our sisters today. Empower yourself and
Yes.
take control today
Yes.
of self. No matter
Yes.
what the situation is or the
Yes.
experiences that we have had in our years, because experiences are brought down from generation up to this very moment in time. But such a time like this,
Yeah.
immigrants to immigrants does have opportunity in whatever
Yes.
area you'd like to pursue to be self-reliant, self-empowerment,
Yes.
self-independent, liberty, not
Yes.
freedom. You're not free and dumb, but you have liberty, because the information is there for you to come and liberate oneself. My sisters, rise to the stand at this moment and liberate oneself.
Yes.
And as we talk about International Women's Month,
Yes.
let's examine the essence of the whole situation, knowing that, as they say, it's International Women's Month. Funniest thing about it this morning is this morning I was aware of the fact that today it's International Women's Month. And because of that, I wrote a few lines, and this is my offering to our women, starting with, O Mother of Creation, love created you and me. Love gave you the power to be a fruitful tree, blooming flowers with blossoming seeds in a whirlwind of storm. With compassion, you weather the wind, the rage, embracing life's waves as it flows from the open sea, with a fragrance that flavors the bitterness, turning the moment sweet, with the tenderness outweighing the flames at your feet, cause you are the rudder that helps me to be free. Oh, Mother of Creation, oh, Mother of Creation, love created you and me.
Wonderful.
Wow.
Wonderful.
That's powerful.
Awesome.
You know, the truth about it is to God be the good, because, as I said, I'm not one of those people who really notices holidays. And it was brought to my attention this morning, and I say, you know what? No matter what, I got to put something on the table.
Yeah.
And before we go any further on the table, let's enhance the essence with some music. It's International Women's Day, so we play more women today. Voice of the Empress they call Sophia George. You're too girly, girly. What? Shout out, bring out to Duke and the Master of the Nets. Victor?
We're gonna have 5 minutes to be able to America, right? That we have 5 minutes to come to America.
Okay, I gotta go.
Can't make it more now.
No.
It's hot nothing cold. Girly, girly voice and Empress Nicole.
No, that
So
was
you do.
8 o'clock, but she's saying it's for 12.
And because of this so, once more we enter into the reasoning with our guests.
Absolutely. Again, we are a firm of immigrants for immigrants. For us, that means much more than just your papers. It means the stability and legacy for your family. Again, we talk about those four pillars: business, immigration, real estate, and trust and estates. We seek to, again, educate our community not only to conquer their fear, but to inspire others who are fearful. We talk a lot about fear, a lot about uncertainty. And again, I feel like this is where business comes in because so many of us, and I can tell you from our experience, our parents, my father, for instance, migrated from the Dominican Republic to Saint Martin. And from Saint Martin, he took what they call a banana boat to the U.S. Virgin Islands. I don't know how he made that voyage on a boat at night. I was able to,
Courage.
when I went to St.
Courageous.
Croix, which is where I grew up, he was able to show me where exactly it was that he landed. It was called Point Udall, which is the easternmost point in the U.S. And he told me, "Yes, look, son, I got it right here." And I don't know how I swam, but I did it. I had all my papers in a little plastic bag, and I ran through the bushes because immigration was coming for me. And I don't know how I survived, but I made it.
It's just a blessing of the Father, you know.
Mm-hmm.
We survive situations that we sometimes never really even thought that we would survive. Yeah, that's what's it.
Absolutely, and I would like everyone to be encouraged by our own story of survival, to
Yes.
seek liberty, not only in the
Yes.
fact that we're here in America, but then what is the next step? What else do we do? And we understand
Mm-hmm.
again, owning a house is not everything.
Mm-hmm.
Owning a business is not everything, but it's some of the things that are going to help you be able to help your kids, help yourself, and then help your families. Another huge mistake or thing that we see, not knocking anybody, right? But a lot of immigrants who come here before they fix their situation, they worry about sending money back home.
That's true too.
And then people back home become dependent. But if
Uh-huh.
something happens to you here, then guess what? Those people are gonna get hurt in the sense that you won't be able to support them anymore, and then you now end up deported, and you're stuck. You are really didn't prioritize yourself first. I believe it's in Matthew's in the Bible will speak that you have to take
The
the
beam.
beam out of your own eye
Yes.
before
You
your
can take it out.
brothers.
Yeah, I can take it out of the other one.
Right? So solve your immigration issue.
Yes.
Create yourself a business.
Yes.
Before you buy a house back home, don't get me wrong, you can buy a house here and there. But get
Mm-hmm.
yourself stable.
Yeah.
It's gonna only be for your benefit because after all, America, it is a land of opportunities. It is not perfect. But we also realize about how difficult returning back home can be. I'm from the Dominican Republic, and so many people that I know say, "Hey, I just cannot go back home. The crime is just too much." They just think because we're in the States that I have all this money. They may kidnap me, they may hurt me. And we hear the same story from people from Mexico, from Guatemala,
Yep.
Honduras,
All over.
even a gentleman from Jamaica was telling me, "Hey, I love to go home, but it's just in and out. Like it's just too much going on." For all intents and purposes, again, we can help you with a business. We can help you with a nonprofit, and to guide you. It's not just about creating a business. We have a team of accountants, of marketers, of insurance, business insurance, life insurance. everything that you need to get yourself together and in order, little by little, to just start climbing out of the gutter. We're all in this, rat chase, chasing the dollar and not getting nowhere, just stressing ourselves.
Yeah.
Our bodies become eventually sick from all the stress, from all the struggle. And we just need to have a little cushion, a little money so we can treat ourselves, go on vacation, and most importantly, of course, follow up with our healthcare, our doctors, not to make sure that that we can be strong for our kids, and that entails peace of mind. I think stress is the number one killer, and
Yes,
particularly
yes.
for women in today, their day, their month, we have to make sure that we take care of them, that we support them, and that we enable them to give them the tools necessary for them to be successful.
Yes. Our health is
And
our
with that,
wealth.
I say, shout out going out to Rasta Gussin family, Rasta Saintburn family, Lion Fierce, Rasta Simeon and family, Rasta Linton and family, Rasta Opian family, Rasta Jat and family, Raleigh Up and Co, peace of the wolves and prosperity of the kids, guess what? Rasta, the Rasta. Now I'll go to the program and sweeten the pot of Rasta, So guess what, Rasta, I'll have to sweeten the pot because all the thing I go is how it I go. Special shout out going out to a young warrior who called me up this morning early. I think his name is Dylan. Asking for Barrington, son of Levi. This is the Barrington, son of Levi, that I'm going to give you, your warrior. Number sensei, what was it?
That's what I went to answer.
Sensei me on me sensei. Shit! Yeah, it's something cold. On them sensei. Voice of the warrior. Barrington, son of Levi. And because of itself.
Sorry,
yes, sir. Yes, sir. Stop right there. Can't maybe give chance to you. Now let's resume the reasoning. We have 10 minutes, 9, 10 minutes ago. Yeah.
Yes. No, because one of the things is that as we talk about businesses, um, you have to know your what you're getting into first. Be educated. You need the education, whether not just to forming a business, but learning how to really manage those business and what your liabilities are. Um, and even with the businesses, you can do use turn that business and put it into estate planning, where you create a trust to have that business be in the trust. Whether if something happened to you, the trust can continue to run that business and provide for your family. So those are some of the things that we do here at Noise and Associates.
Okay. And of course, the listening audience can always call
Yes, they can
and
call us at our
ask questions or gaining information that they really need. And for the time being, it will be a continuous thing every time I'm here on this program. But because it's International Women's Day, I was browsing through something and found the following quotes from the woman that was named Harriet Tubman. So I asked the Empress to read them for me. Thank you very much, ma'am.
The quote from Harriet Tubman goes, "Every great dream belongs with a dreamer. Always remember you have within you the strength, the patience and passion to reach for the stars to change the world." I grew up like a little neglect weed, ignorance of liberty, having no experience of it. I was a stranger in a strange land. I had crossed the line. I was free, but there was no one to welcome me to the land of freedom. I had reasoned this out in my mind. There was no one of these two things. I had the right to liberty. I never run my train off track. I never lost a passenger. I took out my hands to see if I was the same person. There was such a glory over everything. The sun come up like a gold through the trees and field. I like. I feel like I was in heaven.
Thank you
Amen.
very much, Empress. Those
Amen.
were the lyrical context of the woman that
Harriet
was
Tubman,
created and named Harriet Tubman. As we celebrate
woman of
Women's
destiny.
International Day,
Mhm.
the funniest thing about it, a lot of us as men really, in most cases, don't listen to the women. But the truth is, we should take time out to listen because they see things different from how we see from a different angle. And 90% of the time, the angle from which they see it is really creative and progressive. So we should take more time out to really have more progressive conversation and listen and try to really release the tension that surrounds and create a barrier between all of us. We have about 4 or 5 minutes last word. I must say, it's about that time to make my way out of here. Before I do, I must say, let not mercy and truth forsake thee. Bind them about thy neck. Write them over the tables of thy heart, so thou find favor and good with the sight of Yahweh man. I hope you have been enjoying it as I have been bringing it to you On behalf of 89.5 WPKZ from Dining Bridge Road, Connecticut. Serving Fairfield, New Haven, Literaries, content all coming around the world via podcast and streaming on WPK.org and the web. Streaming on TuneIn Radio and WPK Live. I'm here, Sue Massage, saying shalom, me kings and queens, as I leave the floor open to my guests to say their few words for this moment in time.
And well, as we it was fun to be here again, educating and just learning and discussing our work plus what we love to talk about, the one that give us breath. Um, we are Noise and Associates, again, a firm of immigrants for immigrants. I was born in Jamaica. Um,
Jamaica.
and work with my husband who was born in Dominican Republic. So as I said, we're a firm of immigrants because we really are immigrants. We were not born here and we came here. Our office number is 203-572-6748. That's 203-572-6748. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube at Noise Associates LLC. And as it's Women's Day, I say happy International Women's Day to all women here, both in the U.S. and abroad, and be empowered.
I would
That
say within the four corners of the world.
yes, within the four corners of the world, be empowered because you are more than conquerors.
So at the end of the day, I'll say shalom to all kings and queens, princes and princesses, lords and ladies, but especially to the princesses and the queens today. Peace within your walls and prosper in your dwelling. I'll leave you with this. Voice and empresses they call. IT